The question is, why are masks so creepy? Well, I guess the face is a very important part of the body. It's how we read someone's emotions, sometimes their thoughts, and even their intentions. That can be very important if their intentions are bad. So maybe that's why it's so unnerving when we can't see a person's face. I think this is a question for after the video. For now, I need to hurry up and get right into insanely terrifying masks that hold some pretty dark secrets. My name is Danny Burke, and this is the top 10 scary masks that should never be removed. Starting off at number 10 now, we have the false face. The False Face Society is an ancient tradition within the Iroquois tribe. They were a medicinal group who wore these carved wooden masks. The masks are used in healing rituals, and here's the thing, if you are cured by a member of the False Face Society, you then have to join them. The designs of the mask usually involve the eyes being deep set and accented by metal. The noses are always bent and crooked, but the other features can vary. Many of the masks are painted red or black and have pouches of tobacco tied into the hair above the foreheads. It is believed that because the trees that the masks are carved from are alive, so too are the masks themselves. Next up at number 9 we have the splatter mask. The battlefields of World War I were hellish, I guess, to say the least. It was also the first major war that saw the use of tanks. These early metal death machines were even unsafe to the people who used them. The British and French tank gunners were given these masks to protect themselves from shrapnel while looking through the ports. They were called splatter masks, presumably to stop your face from being splattered. The eye covers were metal, the mask was leather, and there was also a chain metal skirt to cover the mouth and chin. And apparently they did the job. These gunners were at risk of something called spalling, which was where the energy from the tank's gun being fired sends a shockwave into the surrounding metal, which can cause fragments of metal to ping around the inside of the tank and cause serious damage to anyone inside. It's definitely a good mask for the job, but that doesn't make it any less creepy. Next up at number 8 now, we have the Plague Doctor. I'm sure you'll have seen this one somewhere. The Plague Doctor was someone who treated the bubonic plague. They were instantly recognizable by their mask. A plague doctor was hired by towns to come and treat the infected people. Their methods were questionable, to say the least, at least by modern medical standards. They used bloodletting or other remedies such as putting frogs or leeches onto visibly infected areas of the body. Let's talk about the mask though. Why did it look like that? Well, it was designed to protect them from the putrid air that was thought to be responsible for the spreading of the plague. The mask was also filled with aromatic items such as herbs, straw or spices to try and counter the so-called bad air of the plague. Either way, their methods were not very effective, if at all, and their masks have inspired countless horror stories ever since. Moving on to number 7 now, we have the witch's bridle. This mask was an instrument of punishment in the British Isles for hundreds of years, first appearing in Scotland in the 16th century. It was essentially an iron muzzle on an iron framework that enclosed a person's whole head. There was even a metal plate that would go into the mouth and hold their tongue in place so that they couldn't speak. In some really horrific examples, the plate would also contain a spike that would cause wounds on the tongue, a further incentive to not speak. It was believed that only through pain and suffering could a person achieve innocence after a crime was committed. The mask was often given to people whose crime was related to talking, sort of an eye for an eye punishment. Moving on to number 6 now, we have the baby gas mask. In 1938, with Europe on the brink of World War II, the British government gave everyone in the UK, including babies, a gas mask to protect them in case Germany dropped poisonous gas bombs on the country. Look how creepy the baby ones were though. They were intended for children up to 2 years old. The parents would place them in so that they could see right out the visor. The fabric below would then wrap around the baby's body and their legs would dangle below. The mask featured a filter on its side to absorb poisonous gas. There was also a rubber tube with a handle which could be pumped to push air into the mask. The government went around giving parents lessons on how to use these things, but as you might imagine, they weren't too keen on putting their babies in this airtight chamber. In fact, during tests they actually found that babies fell asleep or became unnaturally still inside the masks. That sounds more terrifying than the actual mask. Moving on to number 5 now, we have the Man in the Iron Mask. That's the name given to this mysterious, unidentified prisoner who was held in France's Bastille prison in 1669. He was held there for 34 years and nobody knew who he was or why he was there. And here's the kicker, nobody ever saw his face because it was apparently hidden by a mask of iron. Legend has it that he was the illegitimate brother of Louis XIV. He died on November 19, 1703 and was buried the next day. He was registered under the name of Marchioli, and his age was simply given as about 45. There have been many theories over the years about who he was, why he was there, and especially why he had to wear the infamous iron mask. Moving on to number 4 now, we have King Tut's mask. Some of you guys have heard me talk about this guy before. Ancient Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun, who reigned Egypt over 3,000 years ago. He died at the age of 18 or 19, giving him the nickname of the Boy King. His death mask is probably one of the most famous images in the whole world, not just from Egypt. That face you're seeing is the exact same as when he ruled Egypt thousands of years ago. He's wearing a headcloth here. He's also got the royal insignia of a cobra and a vulture. It was made up of 2 layers of high carat gold and made up part of a larger treasure that was found in his tomb. An inscription on the wall of that tomb reads, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." Well, in 1925, the mask was removed from the tomb and placed in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, where it remains to this day. If you read up on the curse of the pharaohs, you'll know that there have been stories of people dying who were connected to the removal of Tutankhamun's treasure. And that definitely includes this famous death mask. Next up at number 3 now, we have Krampus masks. Every year in Austria, you can find hundreds of people running through the streets of towns and cities dressed as Krampus. He's essentially Santa's evil twin, and he looks pretty horrifying. In folklore, this half goat, half demon seeks out bad kids and gives them punishments for their bad behavior. Austrians take this so seriously that there are entire businesses set up to handcraft Krampus masks for people to wear. What a sentence. They are tailor-made to their head size as well. Woodcarvers can expect to make about 100 of these a year, and each one is as unique as the next. The only thing they have in common is that they're all designed to scare the living daylights out of kids so they don't misbehave in the coming year. Once all of the masks are ready, it's not uncommon to see hundreds of people running through the streets of a place like Salzburg or wearing these disturbing Krampus masks. Coming at number 2 now, we have AZTEC masks. You only have to look at these things once to know why they've been talked about for centuries. For the Aztec people of Central America, the art form of creating masks was an ancient and sacred religious practice. They were often made for display though, and not actually to be worn. That's why you'll often see masks with no eye holes, or masks placed on stones or even skulls. If they were to be worn though, it would usually be part of a ritual, sometimes as a death mask. They were made from all sorts of material, black stone, wood, obsidian, but there are also some gruesome tales of Aztec warriors actually removing the face of their dead enemies to offer up to their temple as a mask. It's pretty intense. And finally, number 1 now, we have the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a famous 3-day celebration in Mexico that combines indigenous Aztec rituals with modern Catholicism. It starts on Halloween, when it's believed that the spirits of the dead children return to Earth. As part of the festivities, many people wear wooden skull masks called calacas. They then dance in honor of their deceased relatives. You may also see wooden skulls with similar skull depictions being placed on altars and dedicated to the dead. These skulls are made out of sugar and often have the names of the dead person on their forehead. Afterwards, they are eaten by a relative or a friend, a happy reminder of the good times with that departed family member. Although these masks do look scary, they symbolize a resistance to death and a belief that death is never the end. Alright guys, that is all the masks I have for you in today's video. We could do other mask type videos if you want though. I feel like creepy masks are such a huge topic that we've never really touched on this channel. Maybe we can rank the scariest movie masks of all time. I'll let you guys figure out this one in the comment section. And speaking of that, let's have a quick look at some of your comments from a previous video. On my Mystery Solved by Reddit Part 2 video, Kyle Smith said, "Weird, I just watched part 1, seconds before this one was uploaded. You should do top 10 places where gravity is non-existent." Amazing, I love this. That's actually really random that you watched the first part right before the second video came out, because the first one was from ages ago. Make sure you guys all go and watch both if you haven't already. As for your suggestion, I like the sound of that, I do. Places where gravity doesn't exist. I was thinking of doing a video like that for quite a while now, but I wasn't quite sure how to do it. I do know there are places on Earth where gravity is slightly stronger or weaker. I'll look into that and see if I can make a video. Queen Bee said, yes, I'm a big Danny Burke fan. I think he should host an actual TV show. Wow, can you imagine me with my own TV show? What would I even do? Seriously, I have no idea what I do with my own TV show. That's probably why I'll never have one. I'll let you guys come up with some ideas for my TV show, because now I think it's time to go. Thanks as always for watching guys. My name is Danny Burke, and I will see you all in the next one.